Welcome back to the Iced Coffee Hour, and today we're having on Bobby Misner. Now, Bobby was infamous from a video he posted about 3 years ago titled Life of a Billionaire's Son, where he showcased the lifestyle of growing up with $1 billion.
A viral video with tons of women, private jets, and all of these other luxuries that is completely detached from your and my reality.
Exactly. So that's why we gotta have him on the Iced Coffee Hour and confront him about what it's like to grow up as a billionaire's son. Enjoy.
What's up, guys? I'm Bobby Misner. Welcome to the Iced Coffee Hour podcast. So far, they have generated over $2 million in AdSense revenue.
Where'd you get that number from? Did you?
Wait, one more time.
No, that was good. That was fine. Let's know. Yeah.
It was great, guys. We've made
about 203,000
of that.
Yeah, $203,000.
203,000.
Yeah.
Close.
I just figured you guys had a super high CPM because of like you're talking about finance and stuff.
Gosh, not that high.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. But anyway, man, thank you so much for coming all the way out to Las Vegas. Happy birthday, by the way. It was just the other day.
Yeah, it was just yesterday. Thank you very much. I am now 27. So I have a whole year to survive without joining the 27 club. So I'm going to be taking it very easy.
All right. Yeah, you might want to scale back on some of the parties and the fast lifestyle. And maybe read a book.
Yeah, maybe
watch some YouTube.
Slow cars,
Yeah, exactly. Be in the backseat. But anyway, man, thank you so much for coming out. And no joke, I've watched almost all of your videos since the very first one you posted, The Life of a Billionaire's Son.
Yeah.
And I remember you posted that video and it got like 3 million views in what probably seems like 2 days.
It got to 2 million in a week. But it was like crazy because I was just like there, like this kid, like thinking like, oh, I'm going to go viral, like thinking like all this. Like everyone's like, what are you doing? You're getting like 100 views. And I was like, you guys don't get it. Like my life's cool. You're going to see. And then like 6 months after trying to make videos, I made that. I had like, 1,000 subscribers, 500 of them fake. And all of a sudden the video just starts going crazy. So it gets like 50K in a couple of days and then it gets a couple 100,000. And then it goes Friday and we go out, we're celebrating. And I wake up in the morning, it got 1 million overnight. So it was like 2 mil. And that's without anyone making a reaction video. And then all of a sudden, everyone just starts like making videos on it. I'm like on the homepage. It was just crazy.
How did you grow up? Who is your father? What did he do? And how has that changed throughout the last few years?
So I grew up with my single mom. Most of my parents were divorced when I was like 3 or 4 years old. They were already divorced. So I didn't really know anything else. Live with my mom and my older sister. My dad would sometimes come to visit, give me birthday presents, basically. He'd come like once a year because he was very busy building his company. And then, so I was always like going to private schools and stuff, but I never was like one of the spoiled kids who had a bunch of stuff. I was always very like wearing secondhand clothes and shitty shoes and never had any cool toys or anything, right? Except for my dad would give me a birthday present.
What would a birthday present look like?
Was he wealthy back then?
Yeah, he was still, he was making money, but he wasn't like extraordinarily like wealthy. Do you know what
compared
I'm saying?
to now, or
compared to now?
Oh, okay, but he's still like
he was still worth
could be like $20 million.
$20 million dollars.
All right,
but I had no idea, right?
Yeah, sure. What would the presents be? That's a good question.
Yeah, the presents would be like a game console or I had like a quad bike, mini quad. It would always be something cool.
Okay,
which would make up for the fact that he wasn't there because I was just like a materialistic kid.
Yeah,
I, cool,
I got a quad bike. All right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was interesting growing up though with all these rich kids, knowing that my dad had money, but I just wasn't living with him or didn't have any of that lifestyle or ever go on a holiday or anything.
Okay.
I was always just at home. So when I was like 15 and I was in German international school in Germany. And then I was getting kicked out. I wasn't allowed to continue. I'd been kicked out of a bunch of schools already. And then my dad like sells his company for 300 million. And he just shows me like a bank statement. I was at the house. He just put it on the bed and he shows me a bank statement. It was like cash in his bank account.
So $300 million cash in his bank account.
And before he sold the company, he'd made residency in Dubai.
So what did your dad do exactly? I knew he's in the music industry, correct?
Yeah. Okay. So he started off in the music industry. He was like a sound engineer and a guitar player. And then he started to realize that nobody was teaching how to be a music producer or a sound engineer or anything like that. There was no way to learn. You just had to like get an internship. So he started teaching. He was working as a sound engineer, and then he'd start teaching after he'd finished work and just have people come in. And then that's sort of how he started making money. Then he bought this studio called Studio 301, and then he started making loads of schools. And I don't know, I mean, I was just a kid, so they started expanding globally, but it was a school that he made. It was like a creative media college. And it was like the biggest one in the world. And then eventually he sold all of it, but he kept the real estate. So like they still like rent it from him.
So $300 million. What year was this? Like how old were you when that happened?
I was 15, yeah.
And so when he shows you a bank statement, how does that register for you at 15? Is it just...
Well, my dad's a big flex. He's a flexer.
Yeah, okay.
You know, he likes to flex. You know, he made all his money on his own. So it's like, it's cool. It's very cool for him. So, you know, I don't know. It was like, wow. I was like, my dad's hella rich now. It's like,
that's what was going through your mind. My dad's rich now.
I was like, bro,
Did you feel entitled to that? Did you feel like some of that's mine too?
Definitely.
Okay.
I think it was like a big learning curve going, because like I get thrown into boarding school. There's probably 50 other kids there with 100 million plus families. All of a sudden it becomes like this big dick contest. Like everyone Googles who everyone's family is at boarding school. So everyone knows who everyone is. And if your parents are like super loaded, you're part of a certain group.
What group were you a part of? Like who are the parents of those kids?
Like the rich kids, but like the bad ones, like the ones who would just party and not really do anything.
Is that how you got kicked out of the school?
That's how I ended up getting kicked out, yeah.
Okay.
Who were their parents? Are they,
Yeah, so like one of my best friends, Charlie Brake, he went on Love Island, actually. His parents owned Brakes, which is a huge catering company in the UK.
Okay.
My other boy, Henry Lloyd, they're in like Lloyd Motors, biggest BMW dealership in the north. And yeah, like everyone would just be like super loaded. And then you just like basically all your objective is to spend your entire allowance.
Really?
By going to London for an Exeat weekend. You get like one per month or something. You can go to London for a Saturday night because you got Saturday school. Mm-hmm. And that was really the objective, was going out and getting bottles. Wow. And nobody had IDs. You had to pay an extra $100 to this promoter who I won't name, but you had to pay an extra $100 and you get in. It was fun.
What were most allowances like at that age?
You know, most kids, it depends. Like I said, like that circle of like these really, really rich kids, they would be getting like a lot more money than me. So it was a lot of like me, like they knew who my dad was, but my dad's self-made. So he didn't like throw me cash and stuff like this and just let me have whatever I want. So I was always like part of it, but then also having to like sort of blag,
like what, but how big of an allowance would they get?
They would get like anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 a month while they were at school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
There was this kid.
Yeah.
His parents like owned like McDonald's and Caterpillar in Egypt. He came into my house, my boarding house, and he had like no clothes, like really like just whatever clothes. Yeah. And I get assigned as like his bigger brother, or like to look after him and show him to school for like the first couple of days. And he's like, "What are you wearing?" And I was like, "Wearing Dolce & Gabbana." Like that was the thing to have. And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then like he comes back next week, the entire collection. He just has the entire collection in his room. I was like, "Well, who the f is this kid?" And he's like, he goes by, but he's just like the richest. He's probably the richest person I know in the world.
Now, how much would that cost to buy the entire cloth? What does that consist of? Like that
probably
of that season?
150K probably.
What?
Yeah.
How?
Because he just had cash. He said he would run. He didn't have any cards either because he came from like Egypt at the time. Like a lot of was going on, so he always had cash. Sometimes he'd run out and he'd ask me if I could like lend him 20 to go to the tuck shop in our house and you get candy and shit, because he couldn't withdraw cash, so he has to go back home, get his money, and then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Was that a compliment that you said Dolce & Gabbana and he's just like, all right, I'm going to do that to fit in? Like you influenced him a little bit. Yeah.
Good big brother right there.
Yeah. Had you said any other brand, he'd be buying that. You should have joked with them and be like, it's H&M. And he would have spent like $1,000 instead buying the entire collection.
I have a question about, money and happiness for you, Bobby. One, do you think that money can buy you happiness? And then, you mentioned your dad was working and you only got like a gift or two or whatever. Would you trade, and not like a complete swap, but like, would you trade maybe a little bit less money for a little bit more of your dad's presence growing up?
I would have.
So maybe start with the first one if it helps you think about it a little bit. So do you think money can buy you happiness?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think money can definitely buy you the ability to have enough time to be happy, to like figure out how to be happy, right? And like what makes you happy and all that. Because if you just don't have any money, I feel like the only thing you can thinking about is like how to get money and how to eat and like pay your rent and everything. So I think if you're just worrying about those things all the time, it's kind of hard to be happy because you're just worried. You know what I'm saying? So I think money definitely buys you freedom and time. And then after that, it's like about, you know, there's so many ways to figure out what makes you happy, you know, whether that's partying and then you figure out that's not it. And then it's a girl. But I think, you know, it's always up and down, but money definitely gives you the freedom and the time to find happiness.
And then what about the second question?
I think
Even if it's like, you know, let's say he made 50 mil less.
Yeah.
But, you know, you got to see him, let's say once a month or something, you know,
Yeah.
It could be even just a little bit. Or would you leave it exactly, you know, how it was?
I think I'd leave it how it was. I mean, I think he made a big sacrifice to make all that money. You know what I mean? I think he wanted more than anything to have a family because he grew up an only child. So, and he wanted to look after his family, and he knew that money was obviously super important. And he wanted, you know, I think he wanted to set it up so that we're good for generations to come, which I think I wouldn't have traded more, seeing my dad more for, you know, a couple $100 million less. Why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? Because me and my dad, we think the same anyway at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I'm going to send my kid to boarding school when he's fucking 12 years old.
Now, how much of an allowance did you get when they're getting $10,000 a month?
Yeah, I was getting like $1,200 a month.
Okay.
Pounds.
And how would you spend that?
I'd spend it pretty stupidly.
Yeah.
Like either like, you know, try buy like one thing that was designer and then go out clubbing. Because you wouldn't spend any money when you're in school, you know?
Do you think, though, the boarding school kind of amplified all of that? Like, if you went to a non-boarding school, do you think there would be that, like, competition?
Yeah.
Where it's like, who's spending the most?
Yeah, I think boarding school definitely amplifies the whole rich kid scene thing, like, a lot. And everyone's on their own. So everyone's sort of like, you're just listening to what everyone else is saying, and that's how you'll figure out, like, what's important and what's not, right? But I think it also gives you a good deal of independence by going there. You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing your own laundry, you're looking after yourself, you have to do your own homework, you got to do everything yourself. Your parents aren't there to look after you and pick up the pieces, you know what I'm saying? And the house parents are very strict and make you like be disciplined and everything.
Is that why? 'Cause I never understood boarding school, because I guess like in LA, it's either you go to a public or a private school, and that's really it. I don't know anybody that went to a boarding school. Is that just not common as much in the U.S. or like what's the advantage? Why? Or is it because the parents just like want more time off? I think
it's just super prestigious, and like when you go there you make a lot of connections for life, you know what I'm saying? For me, it's like I still know, and I'm still very good friends with a lot of people from my school, and a lot of them are doing incredible things and are in very powerful positions. So I think it's very much so about connections. That's why people go to these prestigious boarding schools, is to put their kids around other kids who are, you know, from super wealthy families, and they know that's how you're going to get up in life, you know what I'm saying, is by having the right connections. That's what I've always been taught. So
do you know how much boarding school cost?
It's like £33,000 a year.
like 45 grand.
Yeah. There's some that are
$50,000,
ridiculous, like in Switzerland. I was told like either you go to Switzerland or England, and I was like, I'm not gonna be in like freezing cold and like speaking German, like. So I went to England, but there's some Swiss school like Le Rosé, which is like, you know, I think it's like 150,000 a year or something.
What's the process like to get in? Because I take it like even if you have the money, they're not just gonna be like, all right, come on in.
Yeah, it depends on the school. Like there are like Eton and Harrow, which are all boys schools, and there's a couple others which are like top schools where all the kids get A's and everything. But to get in there, you have to go there when you're 13. You can't like go there later or anything. Like the school that I went to is Millfield. It's like the biggest sporting school. So they have a lot of kids there in scholarships. So the rest of it, but it's such a big school that they have to fill the rest of the spaces up no matter what. So they just let it, that's where all the screw ups kind of go.
Would you say it provided you with a better education?
I think it definitely provided me with, no, because I didn't do enough. I wasn't doing the homework and stuff like this, but I think it definitely provided me with independence at an earlier age than if I didn't go.
And having an inside look on so many children of extremely wealthy people, what is some stereotype or something that you've noticed that just completely differs these types of people from the average person?
I'd say a lot of them, I don't know. I don't really know.
Do you notice a difference between those types of people and the
Yeah,
average
I
person?
mean, it's definitely like their manners, often very polite. The people that, like my friends that went to boarding school, you know, there's obviously like an essence of them being more pretentious than a lot of people. There's a lot of things that I don't really care about doing luck stuff. I don't care where I sleep or anything like that. I'm very, very easygoing. I'm Australian at the end of the day, so you know what I'm saying? So I don't really care what I'm doing or if it's lucks or not. But some of them are like almost like afraid of like doing something that isn't nice or staying somewhere that isn't nice. Do you know what I mean? Which I always found like kind of lame. Like I don't really care. You know what I mean?
So you can crash on a friend's house. You don't.
Yeah.
You're in a, you know, on a couch somewhere. You
Best
don't care.
Best Western.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll sleep
Motel
wherever, I don't
6.
care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you get kicked out? What happened there?
Well, I'd been kicked out of a lot of schools already. And then what happened at Millfield was I already had like a bad track record for the most of the year. I was there for 2 years, last 2 years of school, the senior school. I had a really bad track record. I'd been messing around, you know, skipping school, doing this, that, the other. So I was on a red report card, which basically means like you have to, every single class, you have to get the teacher to sign it to say that you were very well behaved, that you did your work, you did your prep when you're at house. It's just like you're on like very thin ice. And then at that point, it was my birthday, which is around exams time, in May 6th, yesterday, it was like the same time exams are happening. And I was like, I told my parents that it was a public holiday on Monday, and I had my mom's email, so I start emailing the headmistress, and I'm saying like, yeah, I got a visa appointment in Germany that I have to like go to, and all this. And then me and my boy Henry and Charlie were gonna go, but my boy Charlie like freaked out last minute, didn't come. So it's just me and Henry went down to my dad's yacht in Monaco, and we were just on that. We went out in Cannes. We went to Monaco. We saw this guy like lose $1 million in like maybe 10 minutes right next to us. It was insane.
Just gambling.
Just gambling.
Yeah, okay.
Just lost it. And I was like, okay. And he just like didn't care. So, I mean, it was pretty fun, you know, jet skiing and everything.
Yeah.
This was when Snapchat was big. Instagram didn't have stories yet. So everyone at school starts seeing that we're just in Saint-Tropez and starts talking, and everyone's talking about it. We get back and like, we're just in huge trouble. And they're like, this is the last straw. I go into the office with the headmistress and the headmaster, and they're like basically saying like, yeah, like we're going to, like they ask you to leave, right? They never expel kids from these kind of schools unless it's drugs. So they're like trying to ask me to leave, and I was like, nah, like I think I'll stay.
That sounds like me. No, I'm good.
Jack,
she was like, make the decision. I was like, yeah, I think I'll stay. I can do all my work. It's fine. I'll stay. And then she's like, wrong answer. And I was like, oh, it's not like a choice thing, is it? We're asking you to leave now.
What would happen if you just didn't and be like, no, I'm not,
I couldn't. But she said like, if I did that,
Yeah.
then I make one mistake. And she said, then you're expelled. And then that's on your thing.
Did these teachers or headmasters say ever get any like nice gifts from like the families of the kids that were there at all?
I don't know about gifts, but I know that, you know, some families would donate like a building or something, and then that kid would just be allowed to do whatever they wanted.
Okay, that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Were there ever any repercussions of you going out and maybe getting expelled from these schools or suspended or whatever and getting in trouble? Did your parents ever get upset at you?
My mom was like, thinks that I was just so amazing. So it was always like I would get away with it, and because I was just living with my mom. And she would never tell my dad. She never would tell my dad that I was getting in trouble or anything until like the very end when I got like expelled. And then like my dad had this big talk with me, and it was just like a very like real like talk about like what are you doing, like where are you going, and all this shit.
When that was that time that you went to Monaco that you got expelled.
Yeah.
Okay. What was that talk like? How did that go?
It was pretty hectic. Yeah. Because I've never really like have talks with. So when he talks to me, it means a lot because he doesn't ever like sort of try to push me in any direction or anything. He's very careful about that, because he knows that, you know, maybe I'm just going to be do the opposite. But I think this was a very, very powerful talk, and definitely like made me realize what I actually wanted to do and what I needed to do, which wasn't to go to university. Basically, I was like, that's just going to be a waste of time for me at the end of the day. So I was like, you know, I need to figure it out started working in a bar in Australia. And then I came back, started working for my dad. And then that's when I later on I was like, I want to make YouTube videos.
How was that working at a bar? Wouldn't you look at that and be like, I was making this allowance and I'm making less at the bar than my buddy's getting for an allowance?
No, so I was in Australia.
Yeah.
So you earn a lot of money.
How much were you making at the bar?
I was making like $1,000 a week.
Yeah, but still less than, the other guy's allowance.
Yeah.
Though. Like, did that bother you at all? That
I think when I was younger, it did. But once I got to like 21, I sort of actually when I got to like 21, my dad gave me a lot of money to like buy an apartment. I kept it for a year or something, and I sold it, and then I just had like probably like $700,000 in my bank account, and I was like, I'm gonna go to LA, and it was gone.
All 700,000.
He's just gone.
And
Like
it's gone. It's all gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. It's all gone.
It took me like a year. Yeah.
How?
$700,000 in a year.
Yeah.
That's still, $2,000 a day.
Yeah. I was just.
Where is it
was,
going?
Whoa. When you're.
Bottle service?
I'm guessing rent, bottle
Exotic
service.
I wasn't getting rent because I
cars.
wasn't paying rent. I was staying in Airbnbs, hotels.
Oh,
I was
gosh.
flying around like business class.
I mean, you could spend $1,000 a night at a
instead of
hotel
canceling
anyway.
my flight, I'd just miss it and book another one. And I'd take girls on trips to like New York or what. I was just like, I just thought that it was, I just had like so much money, and you realize that it isn't a lot of money.
When did you realize that it wasn't a lot of money?
When it kind of like ended after a year, and I was just like, wow, like
When it was getting down to what, like
when it was down to like
grand?
when it was like down to like 40,000, that's when it really slowed down.
You were just like, oh,
I probably
God.
made that last 40,000 stretch like another 6 months.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just call your dad and be like, hey, my bad.
Yeah,
Spent all
because
this,
he was
just went too
pissed, like,
fast.
you know what I
He was
mean?
upset.
He was
Yeah.
like, he's like, you're a fucking idiot,
But wouldn't you see that, like, the writings on the wall, like the first month that you're spending all this money?
Well,
Does he
didn't
check
really
this,
know.
or
He didn't
just
really-
kind of gave it to you and was
Yeah.
like, hey, do your thing, just be responsible?
Yeah, he didn't really like. Yeah, I mean, it was also kind of like a big learning curve as well. I think he wanted me to realize, that it's not that much money at the end of the day if you want to start living like that. Which was a big like realization. You know what I'm saying? And I think now I definitely have a lot more respect for money. I'm definitely like a lot more focused on earning it. I don't spend at like, I always try to like not spend and always try to buy the cheapest thing and all this stuff. So like, I think it definitely helped me because I sort of realized like, I want to be rich again. So
First, we got to thank our sponsor, Ethos.
As some of you may know, I bought a house recently, and although I haven't started a family yet, I wouldn't want to leave them with a mortgage that they couldn't afford if something bad were to ever happen.
I think the idea of needing life insurance is a difficult one to come to terms with, but considering life insurance rates could go up by 8 to 10% a year, now is a better time than ever. Thankfully, though, Ethos is a life insurance provider that gives you life insurance that's fast, easily accessible, and best of all, affordable. Traditional life insurance has been confusing, expensive, and time-consuming.
But with Ethos, you can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get covered the same day in most cases. Only 10 minutes could protect your family for as little as $10 per month.
Ethos offers a variety of policies to make sure there's a policy right for you.
Some policies offer level premiums, which means what you pay now is what you'll be paying in 30 years.
If you're interested in learning more about Ethos or getting your free life insurance quote, the link is down below in the description to apply today.
Guys, it's literally free. There's no reason not to do it. Go click that link down below in the description to apply for a free quote today. Thank you so much, Ethos, for sponsoring this episode, and
Back to the podcast. So what happened when you got down to that last 40? Was your dad giving you any more money, or was he just like, you got to find a way to make it work?
I was still had like, yeah, no, he wasn't really giving me any money. But then that's when I popped off because I was coming down to the end of the money, and I was like, I need to do something. And I made that Life of a Billionaire Son video, and it worked. And then all of a sudden I got a job working, like filming a festival for Disney, and then I was working for French Montana.
Whoa, let's
Wait, did you
Wait.
produce that video yourself?
Which one?
Life of a Billionaire.
Was that brand?
Yeah.
What was
the whole story and everything was like me, but then Brandon
Edited
at times like helped me sound like he would at the end he would come in and he would look at what I was saying, and he would either make it a little bit shorter, and he came up with the part where I said the rich kid stereotype and how I wanted to break that because it was something else, it was something different before that. So like he came up with that part.
How much did that video make you? like AdSense?
Nothing, because it was all, I used like super copyrighted music.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Because here's the thing, like I didn't go, like for me, it's like, I want to see that video in like 50 years from now and be like, wow, that's still sick. I don't want to look back and be like, wow, that stock music's really cool. I'm glad I used the stock music. You know what I mean? I'm going to be a billionaire. Like, why am I worried about making $20,000 off something that I want just to be a cool video forever, you know?
Why do you say you're going to be a billionaire? How?
Well, I'm going to inherit it at some point, you know?
Well, let's get there. But you said you got deals with like Disney and stuff. How did that happen? French Montana?
Well, the video just started going off.
Yeah.
This guy I know, he owns a big like digital marketing company. And he was like, yeah, these French company have been filming. They were organizing Electroland at Disney. It's in Paris, Disneyland Paris. And they were like, yeah, this French company has been filming it, these old French guys, and like they kind of suck. So we're gonna have you come in, but we did it for half the price that these guys were doing it. But they did at the same time. We were both filming as we were filming against each other, and it was just me and my boy. And like I'm just running around with the A7, just getting like some cool like handheld shots and in the crowd and all this stuff. And then he's got the red camera and just smoked these guys, just like blew them out of the fucking one. Like they were like one guy had like a helmet cam. He was like wearing like a helmet cam. We were like, bro, what the are these guys doing?
How much you get paid for that?
We got paid like 12K.
Okay.
In pounds though.
$17,000 US.
Yeah.
So how much are you making right now?
Right now, I make money from, I probably make like 5K a month.
From everything?
From like, yeah, sometimes a little bit more, depends. But I have like, because I have a members club and we do like trips.
Yeah.
Basically. And then I make a movie out of it. So we did a trip to like Mykonos, Cape Town. We did Coachella, which is cool.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like what I love the most doing. Because I love just filming parties and holidays and like stuff like that.
Yeah. But so if you're making like $5,000 a month, I look at your videos and I think this lifestyle costs 30 grand a month, maybe 40,000 a month. Where does that difference come from? Like, how do you get that lifestyle?
Just because I know a lot of people. I feel like a lot of the things that I do is because I know people, and I manage to like make it look bigger than it is. I'm very good at making things look cooler than they are.
But what about your like the rent? The rent's got to be like 16 grand a month.
Yeah.
18, something like that?
Well, yeah, so I mean, I'm paying like 3.
Really?
Yeah.
So you rent out that house with other people?
Yeah, they have the lease. I'm just like renting with them because they're my friends.
That's a good price for that place. It's right off of like Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood. Like that location is prime. And what about like the cars? You're driving like a Ferrari, was it a 308 or 328 Ferrari?
Yeah. I'll
what
just
about that?
I'll like rent them or ask like a friend who has a car or something.
Okay, what about the food? What about so I'm guessing we're gonna get this. The nightclubs, I'm guessing you just get in. So that there's no cost on that.
In LA, like if you're like cool, I guess it's the only place that this works. If you're like cool, you can just go out and drink for free and party and everything, and they kind of want you there. It's weird.
Yes.
Like every other place in Europe, they'll be like, what are you doing? Like you have to buy a table or something. You know what I mean?
Going out's free. What about the food? How do you?
I shop at Costco.
No, I'm talking about like the restaurants. Like I see you at these restaurants where they're bringing out just like you know the crab that like has the smoke show.
Like
and stuff
I'm going.
Mastros.
I'll like be with someone that's doing it, you know.
And they'll pay for, or it's just like
or promoter dinner or stuff.
You could be more frugal than I am, man.
That's impressive.
You're living a $40,000 a month lifestyle. Okay, private jets. Do you just get invited on private jets?
No, like maybe like 3 times on other people's jets. I've only ever the most I've been is like ours.
Oh yeah, because your family probably has one. You're able to use that.
Yeah.
So you fly here with a private jet?
No, they don't like let me like use it like that or something.
How do you get here? You drive or fly?
Oh, I flew from LA to here. Yeah.
What airline?
Spirit Airlines.
Did you really?
Yeah. Well, it flies from Burbank.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go to LAX. It's annoying. And it's just
you didn't use JetSuite X flies from Burbank too.
I know, but I tell you, bro, I'm not rich like that, bro. I'm just like fucking cooling. You know what I'm saying?
Are you worried? But are you worried, Bobby? Are you serious? If someone sees you on Spirit Air, like if I saw you on Spirit Air, I'd be like, "What the, Bobby?"
I know, but
that's
here's
you.
The thing. Like people don't understand. Like I don't give a fuck, bro. Like I'm happy to just live breadline and like smoke weed and be chilling on a beach. Like that's me. Like that's how I grew up. You know what I'm saying? It's just like chilling, and like I'm happy with that. So it's like money is like super cool to me, and I love like doing those things. But without it, I'm exactly the same, and I'm still laughing, and I'm still. So
it's not like your lifestyle necessarily requires money, or at least your happiness requires money.
My happiness doesn't require exactly, because when you know that you have like an $80 million house, a jet, and your dad's like this, that, the other, it sort of removes any like I don't ever feel like I need to prove anything to anyone. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. If you wanted to, you could just go move back in with your dad or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I could live in Saint-Tropez, but it's boring.
Yeah, drive Rolls Royces.
That's boring, Jack.
You can live in Monaco and Saint-Tropez, but it's like, bro, like it's boring. Like to be in LA, and like when you're part of that scene, to then go to LA is like everyone's like, oh wow, like because most people can't do that.
What's the LA scene that you're talking about? Because that's where I grew up. LA, like what?
No,
could you
I was
describe
talking
that?
about the scene in like in Europe, like all the high society, like that vibe. For me to go out to LA, it's like, oh wow, like he's out there, that's so crazy. Because to them, like it's such a distant land with movie stars, and like they don't understand it. You know what I mean? So I think that's cool. Yeah.
So could you break down your expenses for us from like $5,000 a month, 3 of it's rent, you're left with 2. How do you spend that other 2?
Well, I have
on
like
average,
like probably another like 1,500 allowance, and then depends. Like sometimes
I'll 35. Okay.
So sometimes I'll make like other money like from random things.
Sure.
You know, like connecting someone to someone, or like doing a random story post about like a bull NFT.
How much could you make connecting someone to someone else?
Anywhere between like 1,500 and like 10K. I think I made most 10K.
Who do you connect for 10K?
Well, like for like blockchain development or something.
Oh, okay.
A lot of that, or Amazon e-commerce automated stores and shit. Like I don't know. I have some friends that like they just do shit, and then it's like I'll introduce them to someone who might want to do it. You know,
God, and you collect a little bit of that introduction.
Yeah.
And then what about French Montana?
Yeah, I was working for friends. I was like, he's a videographer. I did that for like 3 months, and then I was like, this is horrible. I don't want to be a tour videographer. Like I want to make my videos.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to do this. You know what I mean? But it was cool to go on. We went to the Middle East. Like it was sick. You know what I'm saying? And I'm friends with French now and everything. So that's cool. And then afterwards, then I started working for a designer. Track,
I saw him in one of your videos.
Yeah,
just hanging out in the kitchen.
Yeah.
What would you need to connect us with Designer? Get Designer on the podcast.
He would come on the podcast.
Would he actually?
He would have been here right now.
Are you serious? Would he actually? No way. Let's do that.
Yeah. Should we call him?
Yes. Is he in Vegas?
Serious?
Is he in Vegas?
He's not in Vegas. No. But we could damn it.
Call him.
It's his birthday.
Holy,
it's his birthday.
No way.
Birthday.
He doesn't know. Does he know you're doing this?
No, I didn't know you. I didn't.
Oh my gosh! No, I saw him in your videos. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the
panda. Yeah, panda.
No. Just he makes that sound all the time. I love it. I can't do it, but yeah, I love it.
So many numbers.
Oh my gosh.
Wait.
That's nuts, man.
Graham, the fact that you can just casually call people like
I know.
This blows my mind.
Yeah, okay, so let's call Designer, but like who else? You don't have to call it. I'm not going to ask you to call anybody else, but I'm like, who else do you have in that phone?
Okay, wait, let's see. Yo.
Babe, what going on?
Yo, what the fuck going on, Red?
Fucking B-Day.
Hey, yo, you on the Graham Stephan podcast right now, bro. I just called you up.
Man, son, yo, man, what the fuck going on?
Designer, man, we saw you in Bobby's video. We liked it. In the kitchen.
Appreciate it, gang.
So I just wanted to say we really appreciate you, your music, and if you're ever in Vegas, we'd love to have you on the podcast if you're interested. And sushi on us.
That's fine. Let's go crazy. Let's go crazy, man. Let's go crazy. You know about my boy Bobby, man. That's my dog, man.
All right, my boy. I'll see you later.
Hey, thanks for your time, man.
Let's get love, gang. For real. Keep that energy high. You already know.
He did the thing. He did the thing. Oh, dude, that blew my mind. That blew my mind. He did the thing.
That just made my day.
Wow.
That just made my day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's funny.
So this reminds me, Eric. Could we say? Oh yeah, we could say Eric had. Eric.
Yeah.
He had what Billie Eilish or something called it. She didn't pick up, and my hands were like.
Sent it, and then like something happened where we knew she saw it. Or
Oh
something.
Or like a
something
text message said red.
Yeah.
Oh,
he asked if
damn.
he could call her for like the iced coffee hour or something like that. It said red,
Ah.
but never got back to him.
You know, bro, like
Yeah.
Eric's second ever video he made.
Yeah.
I was like in it. Like he like
really?
said like he like hit me up, asked me to buy the couch, and I
No
didn't know what the
way.
fuck was going on. I was like,
Logan Paul's couch.
I should have bought it. Now I look back, but I was like, what do you mean the couch? I don't want to buy a couch. And then whatever. And then he like puts it in. He's like, I contacted all these people. I contacted Bobby Misner, famous for life of Billionaire.
That would have been
and then
big
all of a
had you
sudden,
bought the
and then
couch.
like I was like, wow, this guy's really going for it. And then all of a sudden he's getting millions of views. I was like, wow, yeah, he really. He's a YouTuber.
had you bought that couch, that would have been huge.
I know. I should have like a
the
couch.
$90,000 couch. Who else's number do you have in there? You don't have to call anybody else.
don't
Now,
call him.
who
Lindsay
else?
Lohan.
Okay. Can we get her on the podcast? I'd pay you to get Lindsay Lohan.
No, she
on.
won't come on the podcast. She doesn't fuck with me anymore, bro.
Oh, what
she
happened?
doesn't
Well,
like
because
you?
we hooked up for like a week and we were like hanging out and shit.
Hook up?
Yeah, and then we were like, well, like I don't know, I was her toy boy for a week essentially, and like we, she took me to some parties and shit. Kate Moss jumped out of this fucking birthday cake and like we're getting papped and stuff. It was lit, but then I obviously said that I dated her in my YouTube video, and she was like, "Fuck you!" So like,
Why was she upset at that? Was
well,
it just
she's
like
just
not
so
like,
she just like
private.
so over Hollywood, and like she lives in Dubai, so she just I don't know.
got it? Okay,
Probably be fine if we saw each other again, but like not, I can't call her.
got it, man.
Part of me feels like I should just, live off of $5,000 a month. Just take a picture with my Ford GT, take a picture with my $40,000 aquarium, and
I don't care, Alex. Go for it.
People like that stuff on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Wow.
insane to me, man.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
I'm actually pretty surprised. I honestly thought that the lifestyle that you were living was like 30, 40 grand a month. I mean, it makes sense. I think it would be like the sensible thing to do.
yeah.
I can't
Wow.
believe that you just did that.
Yeah, I know. I'm
That's
still
crazy.
trying to
I'm-
like
I'm
wrap my
shocked.
mind around that.
Yeah.
If we got designer on the pod, like I would flip.
Dude,
I
it's
would flip.
funny.
If there's any way to make that happen, anytime you just
Yeah.
let us know. Hey, this time, this place, or obviously this place, but this time, meet here, and
We'll be there.
we'll anytime,
Okay,
24/7. Even if
sure.
it's like 3 a.m., I'll find a way to make that work.
Holy cow.
He's hilarious as well. So it's
Yeah.
I like his
energy.
energy, dude. He got me hyped up
I know, me
afterwards.
too.
Dude, I
I'm
was
like,
so
now I'm
hyped.
like, I'm gonna have a
The
great
fact that
day
he's
today.
Just the exact same.
Yeah.
Just like,
By the way, did he say it was your birthday today?
It was his birthday on like Wednesday.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Nice.
That's how we kind of first became friends. Was like, well, like I was filming a bit for him, and then we realized like, oh, bro, our birthdays were the same time, and that's when we threw this party at Jake's house, which was just like viral. Like,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Wow. What's your experience been like going from that to dating? Because I see you have a girlfriend now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a girlfriend. She's French. I met her in Saint Tropez.
Is she from Montana?
No.
I was kidding. Get the joke? French. She's
that is
from Montana.
That's such a dad joke.
Oh,
French Montana.
French
like-
Montana. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I have a girlfriend. I've had a girlfriend now for like almost a year. It'll be the longest girlfriend I've ever had.
There we go.
Which is pretty cool.
what do you like about this girl?
I like that she's very, very beautiful. She's always smiling. She's very happy. Like, she's just like nice. The sweetest girl. So sweet. You know what I'm saying?
It's important.
So,
And what's your experience been like before her?
before her, I had like one girlfriend before her. That's it. Was like for like 6 months or something. This girl from Monaco, but it ended up just being like pretty big heartbreak for me.
What happened?
Like we both like we were like, because I was living in London after the summer, and then she was there, and then she like cheated on me with a guy who had like a way bigger yacht, and I like came back to Monaco. I was like fucking pissed, and like went out with my little sister and her friend, and went to this club in Monaco. And in Monaco, everyone sort of stands around in the club, and they're just bored, and like they have ridiculous amounts of money. They were like a pyramid of crystal. You're talking like, you know, they're dropping like 30, 40K, and like nobody's excited. And so like I'm in this bitch, started getting drunk, and then I find this kid who basically fucked my girlfriend with a big yacht and shit, and I try to start like a fight with him. It's like him, he's got security, he's got like all of his friends, I got my sister, and I'm just like belligerent trying to fucking fight this guy. Like nobody would let me fight him because I'm so drunk. And then and then the valet like drove me home because I took my dad's car, like a Bentley, and I couldn't drive it, so he like drove me home.
No, but did this guy know that like that was your girlfriend, or is he just having a good time? It just so happens
He didn't
to
know.
be. He didn't know. Oh yeah, you can't.
But
fight.
I was,
you can't blame him.
I was
yeah.
just mad. So that's what happened. But I mean, other than that, you know, just dated some girls here and there, you know, always very aesthetic based, I guess.
Yeah. What does your girlfriend do?
She's a model and a horse rider.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did your dad's net worth cross that $1 billion mark?
Yeah,
I sold this company for $300 million.
Now I looked online. How accurate is it that it says his net worth is $400 million?
Just inaccurate. Here's the thing, like all my dad's money's in Monaco and Switzerland, so nobody knows how much he has. Right? There's a lot of people in Monaco that nobody has any idea how much money they have.
True.
You know what I'm saying? It's only what's reported, which is like, okay, he sold his company for $300 million in 2011, and then that's all the information that there is out there. And we'd like to keep it that way. So,
Yeah.
you know.
And do you, like you mentioned earlier, not to take it to a dismal place, but you seem not too concerned about growing your income right now, and you're not worried about when you get older and you need money for, like, you know, and Medicare and stuff like
Medicare.
that. Like, because you said
Well,
that
Australia has free Medicare, so
in that case,
I could just go home.
expenses when you're older and maybe, you know, don't want to work and stuff like that, want to retire. You said you're not worried. Does that translate to you not really caring about scaling your income right now as well?
No, I definitely care about like growing, like, scaling my income and stuff. It's just a matter for me. It's like having the right business and doing it with the right business, and just letting it happen naturally. Because sometimes, you know, out of nowhere, someone's just going to offer you a bunch of money to make them a video or something, which I think is just cool. Like, I like to do it like that. You know, I prefer to make a bunch of money in one go. I don't like to, like, you know, when people, that's why I hate businesses where it's like, you're going to sell like 100,000 of this $5 product and it's all shipping out and stuff like that. I hate it. I hate that. Like, I like to like do things where it's like, okay, here's like 5 bands, make a video. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or like, I make like, you know, 10K off doing a Paradise Black trip or something like this. You know what I'm saying?
And when you make 10 grand like that, what do you do with it? Do you still save up money, or are you pretty month to month? Because like you said, you don't really need to save or invest.
I do though. Yeah. I didn't used to, and it was really annoying because no matter how much, even if you're making a lot of money, you always bottom out. It's fucking annoying. So, yeah, I'm invested in like some NFTs and crypto and stuff.
Do you have any traditional investments?
No.
Stock, no index funds, no real estate?
I feel like I feel like it's fast enough. It's not fast enough.
Not fast enough.
It's not fast. I like to live
So
life fast.
all the
like
money
fast.
is crypto, NFTs.
Yeah.
What crypto?
Just ETH. I just holding
Okay,
ETH.
all right.
Yeah.
That's
And then I got some
fair.
dead fellas.
I
Cool.
don't know what that is.
It's like an NFT.
Okay.
It's cool.
You worried about the NFT market kind of softening a little bit? I think sales are down 92%.
Yeah. I don't know. It just
Yeah,
it's
fair.
it's
Yeah.
a roller coaster.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when it's up, it's up. When it's down, it's down. But
But you don't have any desire for like a good, solid, diversified Vanguard index fund? We could set that up today for you.
how much do you make?
Well, 8% a year
Ooh.
on an average year.
Well, yeah. I mean,
With dividends reinvested, of course. Partially adjusted for inflation. Yeah, hopefully adjusted for inflation over 20 years.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work with me. You see that the problem is like you've learned. One of my business partners learned that with me. It's like we make money, it's gone.
But do you think though that sets the like your level, your threshold is so high that like an 8% return is just like why? Why is that worth your time? Because you've seen like such bigger.
Well, I'm
return
just always
that's
trying to like
distorted your
look
view.
for. I'm always just trying to make more money. I'm just trying to look for like how can I make more money? You know what I mean? Rather than like I don't have like enough where it's like I would put it in a Vanguard account and just leave it on 8% and then I'm making a cool amount of money. You know what I'm saying? Because as I said, like I'll get a bunch of money and I spend it and I get more and I spend it. So it's like, I don't know. I'm always just looking for something bigger, right? And then eventually going into my dad's business is my plan. So
how confident are you about the inheritance and going into your dad's business? Like, is there a chance he could say, you know what, changed my mind, it's going to charity?
no.
No.
My
Okay.
dad's very much like me, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We're like, we believe in like empire, you know what I'm saying? And like our family and everything. So my dad, like, you know, me and him are pretty similar in the way that we wouldn't give it to charity, no.
Okay.
But I could definitely get myself written out of the will if I became a junkie or something. But
Sure,
I'm fine,
yeah.
You know?
What's your relationship with him now?
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. It got very, I went to prison in Japan and that was sort of like, it was after a summer in Saint Tropez, and I'd really been pissing off my parents, and I spent a bunch of money on their credit card.
Do they give you a credit card?
No. Like I took it and like went out, and like I'm not supposed to do that. And so I got in a bunch of trouble, and I left. Basically ran away back to LA. Was living with my friend in his spare room. And then I was like, oh shit. I made this I was still working for a designer, so I still had to make some money. And I made this one video sort of talking about like what happened and like how where my life was at now and how I was like staying with my friend and all this shit. Started getting a bunch of views, and I go on tour with designer to like Asia. So we first go to South Korea, and then we go out in a club and it's lit, and like they've like me designer and his homie, where everyone else in the club is just Korean. And so like, and a lot of just girls, like tables with only girls, and they're kind of dancing like it was the Lego movie, and everyone was just like so happy. And like me and designer just like in the middle, and everyone's like just praising us.
Oh wow.
Getting the mic, they're like, yo, Bobby's in the house, we got designer, all this shit. So it was like lit. We go out next in the morning. So we didn't sleep. We go straight into the plane. I'm super hungover, and I'm like, oh, I don't. And then like I get out in Japan, and the customs like checks my bag, and they find Adderall, and they're like, this is super illegal. I'm like, what? I was like, I don't know. I was like, just take it. I'm sorry. And then they're like, no. You're going to jail. I was like, oh shit. And then like, so then I was in Japanese prison for like 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah.
In prison?
Yeah.
How do you not have the money or the resources that your dad could say like, hey, we're getting a lawyer, we're getting him out?
It's Japan. It's not America. It's not America where you just get, you know what I mean? Like obviously that would have happened.
No bail or anything?
No. Especially only for Japanese people. But then, so I was just stuck, no phone calls, like no communication, and you're just like there, and you got to wait for your trial.
Did your parents just not, like how would they not track you down or like find somebody who knows?
They knew, but like here's the thing in Japan is 99% conviction rate, so it doesn't fucking matter if you get a lawyer or not. If you're getting charged with something, that's it. You're getting charged with it. So they were like, just tell the truth. That's what this U.S. Military, like the head of the military lawyer came in to see me, and he was like, just tell the truth. Like you're not a dealer, right? And I was like, no. And he's like, so you're going to be fine. Just tell the truth. They're going to give you a 2-year suspended sentence, and you go home. You can't come back to Japan.
How does that take 2 months to go through that though?
Because I don't know, it just took ages to get to the trial. Because the guy thought I was a dealer. Like he was like, he was thinking I was a dealer, and he was thinking I was like trying to hide something from it. And I was like, no, bro. Like, and then it ended up just being like, all right, fine, put me to trial. And they like just said like, they made me promise to never do drugs again. And I was like, I was confused because I was just trying to come and be a productive citizen and do my work very well for design. Because when you're on tour, like you never sleep and shit. So like, you know what I mean?
And what was it like in prison?
Well, like first month, I'm just on the floor, like sleeping on a gym mat. There's a couple other guys in there. One guy was really funny, called Toshi. And then the second month, I was in like you get moved to a bigger prison. But luckily I was on an island. Apparently Tokyo is like hectic. So I'm on this island, and I go into like, you get your own cell, little bed and shit. There's a rule book with a lot of rules. You just sort of stay quiet and like read books. But they had nice food at the second one. The first one I lost a lot of weight because it was just 3 bowls of rice a day.
3 bowls of rice.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Nothing else.
And
No
I
soy
was
sauce.
like,
No.
I was so much bigger than any of them. So it's like I lost like 6 kilos or something, and they checked me into the other prison. They weighed me, and he's like, all right, he gets an extra bowl of rice and all this shit when I was in the new one. But the new one, like they had actual food rather than just rice.
Did you ever feel like you were in danger? Because I've seen stories of like the U.S. prison system, and it's like you could die at like any point if you cross the wrong person at the wrong time.
Yeah,
do you feel safer.
Yeah,
have it being the Japanese.
Yeah, because you got to understand, like in Japan, to commit a crime is a very low threshold. So the people in there are not criminals. Like they're just people who like kind of fucked up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like there was one guy in there, and he didn't want to pay tax on this gold that he had, so he tried to sneak it in without declaring it. So he's in prison. And then there's like another guy. Like he was just happy all the time because he didn't care. He was just stealing stuff. He was like, that's what he did. It was just like stealing makeup and shit.
So when they go to trial, are they supposed to just admit what they did?
Yeah, you're supposed to tell the truth. If you tell the truth, then they're more likely to give you like they're going to give you a more fair judgment is what they say. So if you just start telling the truth as much as you can, just say the truth, then they're going to look more favorably upon you.
Kind of like that. I mean, I always believe let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, Graham, you're supposed to be.
Under oath. But
so
I guess so.
I guess I know what you're doing.
Yeah, but I don't think that does the U.S. legal system take that into consideration?
Honesty, I feel
Well, I
like
know if
it's.
you plead guilty to
Yeah.
like tickets, like they give you some favorable,
I feel like some of that is just it's just to get the conviction rates. It's like, hey, if you plead guilty to this, you're gonna lower
it's
it.
more
versus
so for
the,
making a deal in the U.S.
Yeah.
So you make a deal with the prosecutor, and if you admit to it, you get a better sentence typically.
That's I feel like it's just a churning through. Whereas in Japan, it's about more like honesty and just don't do it again.
Yeah, honesty, don't do it again. Swear to God, you'll never use Adderall again, and all this stuff.
Do
Whatever
they have
it is.
lower crime rates than the U.S.?
I mean,
curious if
probably
it's-
way higher if they have a lower threshold.
No, I know. But
No.
it's like-
So it's like obviously it's not like hectic crime. Like here, it's like there's to go to jail here is really difficult. I feel, especially in
Yeah.
California. Like I think it's really hard to end up in jail for an extended period of time. So it's like I feel like the people in there are really criminals. So it's like must be a lot more dangerous to be in prison there than in Japan. Because in Japan, they're also like super strict with the rules and the guards are very on top of everything and everything's like to the dot, exact minute, everything, this happens, you know what I mean? So it's not like, it's not scary like that.
You were at no point scared?
Well, there
Like,
was
did
this
you-
one guy 3 cells down and he like killed his mom with a toothbrush. And it was on the news because this guy came in after me and he was like, bro, like the guy like in the cell, because he was isolated. And he just looked really weird. And like, we were like, and he was like, yeah, that guy killed his mom with a toothbrush. And then we all go next to each other, like brushing our teeth next to each other. And I was like a couple times I was like next to this fucking guy and I would just be like in the mirror, just death staring him straight in the eyes. And I'm like, no.
Were you taller
No.
than him?
Yeah, I'm like way bigger. So I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You
How do you do that?
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
a
you must
really
have
good
filed it
question.
down. or
So
like-
for reference too,
Yeah.
Japan. So on the crime index. So again, it could be skewed because they could have more convictions, but they are 63, one being the worst, and then U.S. is 135.
so they have more crime, higher
Yes,
crime.
but like I said, that could be also because, like he was saying, if they have a lower level of crime, and like I said, I don't know, but if you can get arrested for just
Right.
jaywalking,
I bet the US
then
would be way
they could
higher.
have a higher. So there's no way for us to know exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I
unless
guess
we
you
do
could
some
just look at
deep
violent
research.
crimes or something like that, because that
Yeah.
would probably be a different statistic. But
Wow.
interesting.
How was that to get out?
So cool. Wow. You feel incredible. I mean, it was great rehab as well because I'm not smoking any cigarettes or drinking or anything remotely. And like you're just reading books and kind of like just being healthy and like you get to go to the workout place for 30 minutes a day. So you just work out as hard as you can for 30 minutes. It almost was like you had a very good schedule and everything was organized. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to be here for 2 years, I'm not that mad.
Yeah.
Because I'll come out and like I'll just be like a whole new guy. I'll be shredded. But at least 2 months was cool because I came out and I just felt like so healthy.
I'm always curious, like, what happens to people's responsibilities? Like 2 months, like rent, credit cards, bills. How do those get paid? How do they not just like you leave it on the street and like your car gets towed or
I
something?
know,
Like that?
yeah. I mean, I didn't really have that many bills. My friend, when I was in there, my friend was running up my Amazon because I left it on the TV. He was buying movies and subscriptions.
Well, you were in prison?
I came out. I was like, bro, you spent $200 and I'm in fucking jail. Give it back.
What?
And then,
You still friends with him or?
yeah. He
You are?
didn't know.
Okay.
He thought it was his account.
Ah, okay.
And then, and I guess my parents paid my rent when I was in there. So
they knew you were in there.
How did you repair your relationship with your parents?
Well,
after that?
that's what I was saying. So honestly, it was like in a really bad state with my dad. I'd been kicked out. I was cut off. I was living in LA on my own. I go on tour and I go to jail. But what happened then was like a lot of growing up in my family. It's always been like a lot of like back and forth between me and my dad, especially, right? Because I'm the only son. He's always been very harsh on me. If he gives me a punishment, it's like that's it. Like you're fucked, right? And so when that happened and then I ended up in jail, it was like, oh, wow. Like maybe it was like it was just very like my dad was just worried more. You know what I mean? And it was like I came out and we were like all very, very close again. And we were like, was sorry. Like I was like, I'm so sorry. And my parents were like, I'm so sorry. So it wasn't like he was mad at me. He was honestly just more worried because I was in Japan and there was no way he could help me and everything. And I was like, what if I ended up in there for 2 years or whatever? So I think going to jail honestly made me realize that how important my family is, and like it gave me like, I realized I need to have a lot more respect for my parents, and like, and that my life is fine already. Like I shouldn't, be abusing my position or anything anymore. And I don't know, it was a big eye opener for sure. On both sides though, like my dad realized, like, as well, like, I think we just became a lot nicer to each other afterwards. It was interesting.
Got it. And if I'm taking you want eventually kids, how would you raise them differently than you were raised?
I would just be a lot more present. I would, first of all, my son's going to be called Draco, like Draco Malfoy.
Really? You already have the name planned out? Draco?
It's a done deal.
Actually?
It's done.
Why Draco?
His name's going to be Draco, okay?
Why?
Because it's cool. Like I feel like Draco Malfoy.
Yeah.
And like I feel like it's a cool name. I feel like that's a strong name.
Draco more like the villain though?
I also I don't want anyone
to
be able to shorten his name. Because I feel like that's not a power move.
Yeah,
you can't call me something else. You can't make up your own name.
Like I'd be Drake.
Draco's just an elongated.
Draco.
I'd say Drake.
Yeah, but it's powerful Draco, bro. It's more bougie than Drake.
Yeah.
Like what am I? Drake?
I mean, I'll give you this. It's a unique name.
It's a unique
I don't know anybody named Draco.
That's what I'm
Would
saying.
you change your name to Draco if you could?
No. I like my name.
Is it short for Robert?
Yeah, my name is Robert.
So you just don't like how people shorten your name, and now you're like, I'm not.
That's why I call myself Bobby, because I like Bobby. I feel like it's more catchy. It's
Oh,
it's
Like
easier
Jack.
to say.
Jack his name is shortened from Jacqueline.
Yeah. See, it's like it's
not.
so.
It's not. Jack. I can't believe
I just made that up.
Yeah. No.
But it's so formal to say like Robert. Like it's like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's so formal. I don't like saying it.
Rob?
Like people say like Robert or whatever, but it's like, I don't know, when I'm in the UK, like I have to say like Robert, and it's like I feel like it's so formal, so I just like to say Bobby, and it just works everywhere.
Yeah.
And you never
I feel
misunderstand.
like that's a name where, like, as you grow older, it's like, you're Bobby when you're young, and then you go to Robert in like your mid 30s, and then you go to Bob when you're like 50.
Yeah, I'll be Bob when I'm 50.
Rob.
So
Yeah.
with raising my kid, right, Draco, I'm gonna like push him into sport at a really young age.
Like Quidditch?
Like make him like Quidditch. So like get him on the Quidditch team, but like really push him, and like, you know what I mean? Because I wish I had that. I wish that one of my parents had pushed me to do a sport
or music or anything.
Yeah,
It could be magic.
No,
No? With Draco, you got to go all the way, man.
absolutely
What if
not.
he really wanted
No,
that? He's like,
absolutely
"Dad,
not.
Oh yeah,
You're not
that's a
allowed.
good quote. What if he's into something completely different? Like, you want to continue on this wealth, but he's like, you know what? I just want to chill. Don't want
He
to do
wants to.
anything.
He wants to chill.
Just wants
he doesn't
to
get to
chill.
chill, bro. No.
Draco's going to be a beast.
He's gonna be a beast, but I'm gonna push. Because I want to say, I'm gonna push him from a very young age. He's gonna be incredible at like tennis or something. I want him to be incredible at a sport, so that by the time he's finished school, he'd be like, wow, I'm so glad that I'm really, really sick of this sport, and now I'm so fit, and I can just play tennis for the rest of my life. Like something like that.
That's boring.
I
Yeah,
wish
like a
that
Tiger
I
Woods.
had done that more.
I wish that I had piano lessons growing
I had
up,
piano
and I
lessons
wish
too,
that
yeah.
I persisted through that, although kind of it was an annoyance when I was young.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, God, like I have a friend, my best friend grew up, and he's like super good at like guitar, and he
Yeah.
can still play that and like whip it out and like, I don't know, play cool music. And I'm like, God, I wish I still had piano.
Yeah, I
It's
feel that
sick.
way about piano.
But it gives you like a discipline from a young age. I think
does,
I
yeah.
think I want to give my son a lot more discipline. I didn't have that. I didn't have discipline. My mom was just with my older sister riding horses. My dad wasn't there, so I just on my own.
But now, how do you feel about the fact that, like, I think it's 90-something% of wealth is lost after the third generation, and so you're the second. So there would be one more generation, and it's gone. You worried about that?
No.
No.
Draco's going to be disciplined.
Why is that? What do you mean 90%? How?
Wealth, hold on, I'll tell you the actual statistic here. 70% of affluent families will have lost their wealth by the third generation.
I feel like affluence is also a little bit different than like billionaire status.
Oh, this one says 90% have lost their wealth by the third generation.
I just feel
70,
like
90%.
I just feel like it's just accumulating so much. Like, and we have a trust as well. So it's not like when my dad dies, I'm just gonna have all the fucking money in my bank account, just go spend it. It's like we have a trust, like a family office and stuff. So it's like, I'd have to get approved for all the things that I'd want to do or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like, we'd always make sure that it's making money.
That's when you know it's real, when there's a family office, Jack. You ever heard of this?
No, I've never heard of it.
Never heard of the family office? No. So a family office is just, seriously, it's like a roommate's, except for wealth planning, tax management, lawyers, estates, basically anything that a family would need on like the back end for planning their wealth. is
To make sure that they can never go poor again.
Yeah.
basically to make sure that they get the proper tax optimization, accounting,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
legal-
We live in Monaco, so it's like
yeah,
you have to pay tax,
right.
You know?
But
Problem is when
yeah.
when I'm
Yeah.
I'm American, I'm American citizen. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm
sure.
like, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to pay tax on it.
but
whatever.
Yeah, but yeah. So anyway, it's about 250 to 500 million dollars is when people typically have their own family office, like the dedicated family office.
Wow.
It's crazy once you go like
Sounds
down those
insane.
leagues. Yeah, you get your own family office of like you have a team of people around you, making sure that like that money is put to its best use.
And you guys
As a
have that.
fiduciary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you split it? Is it your own family office?
Yeah.
or you
No,
just
it's
split-
all right. We have like
Yeah.
yeah.
Do they do your taxes too?
No, I do them because I'm American taxes.
Okay.
I'm sure it's pretty basic on your end. It's like income coming in,
easy.
and then like 90% is a write off.
Yeah, I say like so much because I spend so
Yeah.
much of my money. So it's like I don't have to pay much because I'm spending it all, and this I'm a
Yeah.
YouTuber, so I'm spending it on stuff that I'm trying to film and shit. You know.
Yeah. Do you ever want to leave California? You're pretty content there.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, like I'm not like accumulating a lot of wealth yet.
Yeah.
So for me, California still makes a lot of sense to be there. Like I know that you moved here
Yeah.
because obviously there's no tax and stuff, but you're trying to accumulate a bunch of wealth.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously in California, that's annoying because you're constantly getting fucking taxed on everything. You're getting taxed when you're going buying things. Everything has taxed there. You know.
How will your life change when you get, $200 million, $300 million?
I don't know, man. You know, like I'll just be cooling. I don't know. Like by that time, like I'll be like older and like I'll already have like I've made a bunch of money myself, but nothing close to that. But you know what I'm saying? I'll be more cooling. Hopefully, I have a family and stuff. So
How do you plan to make more money by yourself?
with Paradise Black,
What is that?
it's my members club. Just want to grow that, and like because when I'm older, I want to have my own like a building, like a members club as well, which I think would be really sick. I just like that.
You guys go around, like you mentioned earlier, you travel to certain locations and you can
Yeah.
figure out like all the amenities and the food.
Yeah,
Like,
so
'cause
we
you know
ba-
how to party well and you want to share it with other people.
So I've been partying since I was like 12, you know what I'm saying? And like I've been to doing all of these things every year for like, 10 years now. So since I was 17, really, I started going out in that jet set vibe. So I know like all the people, I know all the places, I know what you need to do and everything when you go to like the Monaco Grand Prix or Coachella and all these things, and I have a lot of access. Like I know a lot of people, I know how to get into certain parties that you just wouldn't get invited to and stuff like that. So basically what we're offering is a high level of access on these trips. And it's just turnkey. So it's like you don't have to touch your wallet either. So it's like you just pay a one-off fee, you come, and everything's just organized.
But now, don't
actually
you?
sounds very fun.
But here's the thing, Jack, that I've noticed is that when you have the money to pay for something like that, you typically already have the connections.
That's
Don't you
not
think-
true though. There's
no?
so many guys that have money that have no idea
Really?
about what's going on, because they're busy making money. They're not out on this whole party scene, like knowing people.
Then don't
and
you
stuff
think
like
there's a
that,
high
so-
turnover of people like that type? If they don't have the connections, that type would just get it out of their system for a year or two, and then there'd be a constant influx, outflux of new people leaving and
Yeah.
going.
I mean, I don't know. We've only been
Yeah.
running for a year, so I'm just, we're just trying to do some stuff like that.
How much does it cost?
Anyway, between 15 and 30,000, depending on the trip.
And what does that get you?
Well, we fly in like some tier 1 girls. We get like, a villa. It depends where we're at, or like maybe a boat. And then, that pays for your tables and transport. Like in Mykonos, we have like a really sick driver. It's like a Sprinter van. He's called George.
Yeah.
He's lit.
And do you go along with them? Like you're a part of
Yeah.
this?
So
you're there.
it's like you're coming to party with me, and I'm
Yeah,
like
got it.
fucking sending it, and you're having, because I'm very fun to party with. Like I'll make sure everyone's having a great
Okay.
time. You know what I'm saying? No short and nothing. There's always something happening.
Yeah.
Which I think people love. They like to do that, and it's cool to be in a group as well, especially when you're young guys, because you're going up against like, 60-year-old dudes who have like $100 million in the bank, and they're just like, don't care, so it's like for young guys, like, yeah, you're making money, but it's like you don't have 100 G's to spend, but you maybe have 15 to 30,000. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you go together, and then you got a cool situation going on.
How long does that last? Let's say it's 30 grand. Is that like a month? Is that
No,
like a weekend?
week, or
It's a week.
yeah.
How much do you make off of that?
Not enough yet.
Okay.
Because we're still like more like we spend all the money to make the trip as cool as it can be.
Okay. But you get the experience for free.
Yeah.
But you
So you
put
come
it
on.
all together.
And then you get
And
there's
use the
after
connections,
movie
yeah.
and photography and everything while you're there, which a lot of the time like people do these trips and then they just forget about it. And it's like you spend all that money, you don't have anything to show for it. So I think it's really cool to have like video of it. And
Imagine getting
photos
like a
and everything.
trophy at the end.
Yeah, like trophy.
Yeah, like a certificate. Like, hey, man, you did this. you completed the week, the 2 weeks, whatever it is. How many people have done that so far? And what's like the typical person who buys that?
We've done 3 trips.
Okay.
Typical person is like young guy, anywhere between 20 and 30. Wants to party, wants
Makes
to
a
meet
good amount of
girls, makes a good amount of money. A lot of on the last trip, a lot of guys were like in tech. 3 of the guys were in tech, like doing stuff, like online. Like one guy did AI for e-commerce and shit. I don't know, tech.
Yeah.
But and then the other guys like in real estate from Switzerland. Some of my friends, and yeah.
And then how do you get the girls? Are they just like friends of friends? Are they hired out like
yeah,
models?
like friends of
or-
friends.
Okay.
I like to just do it like with friends and stuff. I mean, that's a lot of what the reason you'd want to come on the trips with me is because I'm friends with a lot of these influencer girls and girls that seem out of reach to these guys.
Yeah.
Because they're down to, they're down to come on these trips because they know they're going to hang out with like young guys and it's not like you're going on a trip with a creepy old guy, it's like Dubai or something. So it's fun, you know.
How common is that? I heard a rumor. I think it was on the Impulsive podcast. I think it was Mike that was talking about like a lot of those like Instagram models are kind of like doing stuff on the side.
In
Is
Dubai.
that true?
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
if you're a pretty girl on Instagram and you have like a certain amount of followers, you just get these offers. Like my girlfriend gets them all the time. Like, hey,
What are the
like
offers?
I have a very important client in Dubai who's looking for fresh young faces to come out and party. You'll be paid this amount. All your flights
Really?
taken care of. You get to go shopping and all this shit. Like literally like a whole, like just an offer. They send
How much are those offers?
between like, they'll be like, yeah, we'll give you like 20,000 and we'll take you shopping. You can stay in a hotel and you just have to like come to like some parties with the sheikh, whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now, is there anything ever implied after that, or is just
No,
like
so
just
they
like
don't-
flat out
obviously-
like just show up?
Yeah, they just like show up. I mean, I've also heard it's not like sketchy either because like these guys, a lot of them just want these girls around them for image rather than
I'd be so
anything.
sketched out going to another country. It's
Yeah.
like some random.
Especially
Has she-
Dubai.
yeah.
I don't like being in countries where the laws are all weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Has she ever done that?
who?
Your girlfriend?
No, absolutely not.
How does that feel for you to be like in a relationship with someone who gets these offers?
I think
like
it's
20
funny.
grand, really?
That's so hard to say no to.
I think
though.
it's funny to
Like,
just see guys like thirsting over her and stuff. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Because they know
don't
that
know,
they obviously know that I'm her boyfriend as well. Because you can see on Instagram, like you could see. So I think it's
So
just
why?
funny.
But why go for her with the boyfriend? I don't get.
Well,
because
it's
then
more
this
it's a
is-
power trip thing as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They think they can take Bobby's girlfriend on the fucking trip if they pay her, but like it's not the case.
Yeah, wouldn't they just throw out an offer like hey, 100,000? Like, is there a price that you would encourage her? Be like, honey, it's like 500 grand. Just like I trust you. Just have fun this weekend. Be safe. Come back and like. Is there an amount where
I
it's
think,
like you could be
for,
one
like,
of?
Yeah, like maybe like 200K.
Imagine the guy with the yacht is watching this.
Yeah,
the
the-
bigger yacht. He's like, hey man, no hard feelings, but it's like 250.
texting his accountant.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Funny.
I'd feel uncomfortable. I'd feel uncomfortable with that. I could,
doing it gay.
yeah, but I would. I don't know. I couldn't.
Let me
long as it's just like an
flip the
image.
question on
Yeah.
you, Graham. What is
Yeah.
there a price for you?
No. Oh wait, for what?
For you to go-
where
for
you
you
would
to go on a
encourage
trip.
your girlfriend
No.
to go on that trip.
No.
$1 million, you wouldn't do it.
I would be. No, I'm thinking. I'm giving it a serious thought. I would be a wreck. I don't think I could do it.
No, it would
I don't
be
think I
so.
could do
It'd be
it, no.
super. I don't think it's like it'd be such like a.
I couldn't do it. I just. No. Even if for $1 million.
million.
No.
10 million.
Yes,
Man, I mean,
there's
it's
a
then
price. You
There's
know?
a price
$10
for
million for a weekend. It's
Hey,
like
you can fuck
but-
my girl for 10 million.
oh my gosh, it's just like no,
We'll go to the Maldives.
none of that. But if it's platonic for $10 million for a weekend,
Yeah,
and
just
she,
partying. Just partying.
I don't know. I don't like. I would want like. I would want to say no, but I also know it's like a significant amount of money. That would that would be her money. So I don't know.
I mean, you don't need the money, bro. Like, here's the thing. I feel like people want too much money. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like at like 10 mil, like fucking whatever, you're cooling at that point, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. You probably don't think that. Graham's going to get to like 500 mil.
No, I just think there's always a safety net. Like right now, there's nothing that says the market can't go down 50%.
Yeah.
Then you're cut in half. So by starting off with a larger amount, you could still drop that 50% and have more, because I like the safety plus a big buffer.
Yeah.
Like so I feel more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Require a larger amount. That's just for me though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just take the worst case worst case scenario into account first, and I'd like work backwards from that. Like, what's the worst that's ever happened? Okay, like a 70% drop during the Great Depression. Okay, let's plan for that.
Okay.
And then if it never happens, I'm good. If it does happen, then I plan for it.
I see.
That's how I see things.
That's very good.
So guys, we're going to do a new segment here. Once again, Graham posted on his Instagram asking you guys questions to ask Bobby. So,
All right, so
go ahead.
We're going to start off with Nate O'Brien.
Oh.
What's up, man? Okay, so he asked one that I was thinking, the first thing you walked in here.
Yeah.
How much did your shirt cost?
Oh, I made this. Yeah. I made this shirts for my brand. Like, you used to have a clothing brand. But yeah, I sold them for like, they're $110.
Did you strategically rip each hole?
They were strategically ripped, but in Paris, it's made in Paris. But then I ripped it more. I like to look trashy. I like to look like I'm poor. To be honest, I feel like it's cool. You know.
Someone's gonna clip that out of context. Oh my God.
That's not the case, because I feel like if you confidently wear ripped clothing like that, they're like, okay, this guy's insanely rich.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's like, okay, like if you just got money, it's like, okay, you're gonna wear stuff that everyone says Versace on it or Gucci all over, right? Because you want everyone to know that it's cool and it's gonna be clean. But when you're me, you wear a fucked up t-shirt, fucked up shoes, but you're still going to the party and you're on the coolest table. So
I've said that for the longest time. In Beverly Hills, it was always like the person who walks down with like the Gucci head to toe, they're not buying anything. They show up just to be seen and like do window shopping. But the guy who pulls up in the Rolls Royce with dirty sweatpants, a torn usually like a Walmart t-shirt, scruffy, hasn't shaved in a week, like that's the guy who has nothing to prove. And that's usually the customer that like you would want to cater to. Craziest thing you've ever spent money on?
This fucking this like F355 1999 Ferrari that I bought for $100,000. And then it was just I got shifted by this shady car salesman, and it just didn't work, and it was always broken. And then
That's
I was
a 355 though.
I was like super mad, and then like I tried to sell it, and it was only worth 50. It's like 54, so I lost 50 bands.
What do you drive now?
And I barely got to drive it.
Yeah.
What do you drive now?
I don't have a car in LA. I always just like my roommates have cars, and I'm never here. I always travel and stuff, so it's like I don't know. I don't need a car yet. I only just got my license too.
When?
I had one, but in the UK.
Oh, okay.
Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
I feel like I'd fight the big duck.
One big duck.
The
You're a rather
big duck.
sizable person. I mean, you're pretty.
It's a duck. You just you know what I mean? Tackle it.
They have beaks,
Bunch of horses could be really
talons.
strong. Like horses are strong, and there was a lot of them. You'd be overwhelmed.
That's a good point.
All right. That's a good question. Why do you want to be famous or go viral?
I don't know. I just feel like it's cool to be known, especially amongst I like to be known amongst like my scene. I think, and that's what I achieved. And so like ever since I kind of been more complacent, I didn't grow as much after, because I just like make videos for my crowd rather than trying to like grow as much, because I don't have the work ethic, to be honest. I like to make a really cool video, and I feel like to do that, you can really max out at like 2 videos a month to make like a super sick one.
But don't you think if you want to be known, you got to play to the algorithm, you got to post more than that?
I know.
Once a week minimum.
Yeah.
Who's someone that's doing what you want to be doing, but doing it like perfectly? I feel like it's almost like David Dobrik.
Dobrik. Yeah.
When he was doing like a lot of those parts of his vlogs.
Yeah, I like just fun vlogs like that. I like David Dobrik's vlogs. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to like this year. I'm trying to like do it a lot more. It was like over the past 2 years, like because of like COVID and stuff. Like it just felt like it was really hard to party and travel and stuff. So it was harder to pump out the videos. I also like to just do it like more naturally. I see it as like a progression into film and TV rather than just being a YouTuber forever. Because my goal is ultimately to make my own film. And I've been contacted by like a huge film producer before, and he said like, you definitely have an idea. Like the way that you need to do it is just, you got to come up with a great story. And then a studio will just, if it's great enough, like they'll fund it. Don't worry about trying to get funding from people and stuff like that. The studios right now, he was saying like, you know, they've got huge budgets and not enough ideas.
What is your biggest problem right now?
I want to be more consistent with my YouTube videos.
How can you fix that?
I need more money. I want to like spend a lot of money on my videos. You know what I mean?
But you're already like, I'm looking at this thinking, how could you possibly spend more?
Well,
what would you do?
I want to have a private jet pajama party.
But you really think that would do well on YouTube? Because like you got to think Eric is not spending that much money.
I think that would do well on YouTube.
A private jet pajama party?
Yeah.
With a pillow fight.
I really think it would.
That's-
It's just a complete
That's
different
30
audience.
seconds. I think that's 30 seconds of
That's
B-roll.
not 30 seconds, bro. A private jet pajama party, bro. I would watch that for like 10 minutes.
But can't you just rent one of those jets that not up in the air and just pretend it's up in the air? Like you,
Because I want to drop. I want to like do like a drop as well, so people like float a bit. I've done that before in the plane.
couldn't you rent out one of those zero gravity planes?
Wow,
Eric did that.
he did.
I'm thinking like Eric's getting like
What didn't
5-10 million
Eric
views.
do?
He's doing it. I don't know how he comes up. I remember like a year and a half ago, he was like, I have no ideas. And they're brainstorming. Now it seems like every week, I'm like, how did you think
Probably
of
just
that?
has people that create ideas for him.
I don't know. He's a grafter, bro. He works so hard. You know, he deserves it.
When do you think it's like getting too old to party, or do you think that just doesn't exist? Because we have a friend, Jeremy Financial Education. He has a podcast with Graham and this other guy, Andre. And we were all talking about like, when can you stop partying? When is that awkward to show your face at the club? And Jeremy's all like, once you're 30, you know, if your age starts with a 3, then it's weird. And I'm like, no, like I
You know what's
Hell
crazy?
nah, bro.
The people who party the most at some of those clubs are probably in their mid 30s to early 40s. And those are the people who go like nuts at the club.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm going to be partying till I'm dead, bro. I'm Rolling Stone. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I'm going to be in Monaco, 7 years old, like 5 hookers with me, like cooling. Like,
Yeah.
that's me. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know what everyone else wants to do, but like, I'm trying to like have fun.
I think it just has to do with the confidence and how well like you fit in with
How
that
much money
crowd.
you have too? Bobby, what would you say to me, a young man who's never been to a club?
You've never been to a club?
No, never.
How old are you?
23.
23. Wow.
Or
You
a
don't
festival.
want to go?
No, I would love to go.
Why haven't you been?
Well, Graham wouldn't go with me. So
I have
that
zero.
basically
I have
checks that
no
off
desire
that
to go,
list.
yeah.
I highly doubt Alex would want to go with me.
Yeah.
My housemates, they're pretty indifferent about it.
Yeah.
Jack has to go with either Grant Navarre, Kevin Paffrath.
I'd say go with-
someone
yeah.
who's
I've
going
also
and
never
getting
been
the
to the
bottle
club,
service.
Jack.
Yeah.
You got to go with
go?
someone.
I would go with you.
someone
I've never
fun.
been to the club ever.
I need
I
2
wanna
weeks notice to go to
dance
the
and I
club.
want to go around.
The club, well,
and
here's the
have
thing. The
fun,
club
you
is
know?
shit if you don't. It's probably especially in Vegas. It's probably not fun unless you're with someone that has a table.
Yes.
Oh,
You have to go with someone. Like if you went with your buddies, I guarantee you would have a better time at just one of the bars, like the hotel
Yeah.
bars, just chilling and hanging out and talking.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you see the dance floor in Vegas, and it's like sardines of people.
that's not fun. The dance floor. No.
No, I mean when you're like, everyone has like this much space between each other.
Yeah.
Everybody.
You
And
want to be on
people
a
are,
because like,
pushing and
you got to be on a table or some the whole idea of like at the club, like you're gonna have fun if you're doing some sort of something that's more VIP than anyone else, because everyone's just in the club like, you know, trying to look at each other. What is this person doing? What is that person doing? But it's like if you're on a table and you got your own girls and your friends and everything, you can dance there, you get drinks. That's fun.
Yeah.
But if you're in the club and you're just like hanging out, like it's like what the fuck? You got to wait 20 minutes to get a drink at the bar.
And you got to pay a
like-
cover.
Yeah.
So how much of the club is about just going and having fun, dancing and meeting people and just having a good time versus a status like competitive environment?
Yeah, I'd say it depends where you are. Like LA is very much like who are you? it's like everyone's being too cool, like in the club, like is because there's a lot of like, you know, influencers and then like, so it's like LA is not as fun to go out. And everyone knows that. It's more like at the after parties, like is where you can have fun. But in like London, you go out and it's just like busting, like so fun to go out in London, or like, you know, in the Mediterranean in the summer, you know, beach clubs and like that's fun. I'd say like LA is more of a scene. That's why that they know that, and they know that to get cool people to come, like, and like girls and stuff, there's always promoter tables, and like, you know, all these people are going for free because they want to have cool people at the club. That's what makes the club cool. You know? Yeah,
like Jason would get in all the time for free. And anywhere he would ever want to go is just walk right into the front door. Because right. But also it's just like once you have that connection, they want you there, and they want people who go there who have a good time and that people like. Yeah. So if you're gonna go there and like get belligerent, they're not gonna have you back. But if you go there, have a good time, you leave, and you know.
What's the most like luxurious thing that you've ever done? Where let's say someone did some service for you, or you bought something where you're like, holy cow, like this is nice.
Probably the most luxurious thing I've ever done was when my dad first sold his company. We went on like a world tour, and he sold his company and he bought a jet, and then we went on a tour. So we went from Sydney, we went to Fiji, Hawaii, Alaska, Chicago, UK, and then finished off in south of France, which was cool. That was just sick. That was when I was like 15, 16. It was crazy because I'd never been in a jet before. And all of a sudden we're like in our jet with our name on the back. And I was like, this is sick. And we're staying at the Four Seasons in Hawaii. It was just cooling. Like that was probably like the most luxe thing I think I've ever done. It was sick.
Huh. What other questions do you have for us?
What do you think I should do? What do you think
post
I should
more.
do?
I think you need to post more, and I think there's only so much that you could do with money. And I feel like at a certain point, there's always going to be someone who could spend more money than you. Like Steve will do it. No matter what you do, he will put that to shame by doing something else. And like, so I think you need to post more, but find an angle. And I think the B-roll is good, but I wish there's more of a story with every video, of like a start to finish, like a David Dobrik vlog, where people get to know you more.
Okay.
That's what I would do. I don't think it needs to cost more.
Yeah, because I want to make it. I don't like doing like, for example, like what Eric does, how it's like a full, like it's an idea and it's this whole video, right? I like to just have it like be my life, almost like reality TV. Like that's what I have fun doing. I think
the issue though on YouTube, people want relatability. And they want to feel like you're their friend. And the reason David Dobrik did so well is even though he's like, you know, living in an $8 million house, you feel like you're with him and you're like part of his friend group and you're all like hanging out. And I feel like with you, people watch more as like an observer. Like they're at the zoo, just like watching this creature that's like, ooh, the billionaire's son. And they feel a disconnect where it's like what prompts them to keep coming back besides like a wow factor. And then after a while, you'll keep the same wow factor and you'll have to keep one-upping it to be like, oh, how crazy is it going to be today? But I think building that relationship with your audience is really important. And I think just humility of it and just being more relatable. And I don't mean that you have to like, you know, eat at Chipotle to do that. But I mean, like, I think just being more vulnerable, posting more. And I think twice a week. That's what I would do.
Okay. Cool.
But I think you could continue most of like what you're doing. But like the stuff about like living like that for $5,000 a month, like I think, there's probably going to be 10% of people who are like, it's a fake and just but you don't care about it. 90% of people I think would actually see that as like really cool and resonate with that more.
Okay. Nice. Cool.
It's good.
All right.
Thank you so much for coming on, man. Did we cover everything you want to talk about?
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
Cool. Heck yeah. That was really fascinating.
Yeah. Lit.
Thank you. We'll link to your information down below. Oh, one more thing. You paid a Tozy $1,000 for him to make a video. Why?
I feel like I like a Tozy more than the most out of anyone that's made videos on me.
Okay.
And he's always giving me advice and stuff. So I had like $1,000 budget to market for Paradise Black, and I was like, just give it to a Tozy and get him to make a video. And he was like, go ahead, fucking say you paid me. I was like, yeah, fuck it, that's cool. I had $1,000 to blow in a video, like, you know.
Are you friends with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him once before. He's really nice.
I've never met him, but we DM.
Yeah, he's really cool. So, I like him.
Yeah. He's cool.
Well, of all the people who could get $1,000, I'm happy it was him.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like he was the only one who deserved it. He's cool. So.
Good stuff.
go.
Well, yeah,
Thanks so much
thank
for
you,
coming
man.
on. It was an honor meeting you, and
We'll link to your information down below in the description for free, by the way. Doesn't cost anything. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. But, did you get your free stock down below in the description when you sign up for Public with the code Graham?
Oh, I'll have to get that.
You'll have to do that.
Wow.
It's worth all the way up to $1,000.
That's sick.
You could also add
$5, but
yeah. Well, it's anywhere between $3
you could also
and $1,000.
add me on Instagram.
You could add Jack on
JLS
Instagram.
Go ahead and
And
add me on
that's
Instagram,
it.
guys.
And you could
Alex
also-
_Nav _photography.
with
You
that
could
said,
join
guys,
our
thank you so
mentorship
much
Yeah,
for
don't forget
tuning
to
in.
follow your boy on Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
Bobby Misner.
All right,
Everything's
there
just
you
my
go.
name.
Cool. Easy.
Thanks,
Thanks
man.
so much, and until next time.
Lit.
Cool.
That was great.
That was great. I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much.